Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a big book on haul. It is probably going to be part 1, but I'm not 100% sure because there are some other books that are in storage that I can't seem to find and therefore unhaul. So I'm thinking this is part 1 and part 2 is coming up whenever I can find those books, but just saying, we're gonna go into a pretty big book on haul considering that I don't really have that many books compared to other people that read a lot. I don't have that many books, but I am moving in a month or two depending on when we can get movers because they don't want to answer the phone. But you know what, that doesn't have anything to do with books. I'm just annoyed about that. But I don't want to pay extra, honestly, for books that I'm about, because if I just think they're average, no matter their length or their weight, that's still gonna cost us money. So that's why I've started unhauling quite a few books. So we're gonna jump right in to the first book that I'm unhauling, and it's going to be Yoga for Artists. It was a gift and I read it and I liked it, but I kind of sort of forgot that I had it because I've stopped doing yoga because of my hiking accident and my sciatica nerve problem. So it just makes me feel sad. It's so stupid, but it does. It makes me feel sad that I can't do yoga right now and haven't. When did I last do yoga? I don't even know. It's been too long. It's too long. So I am going to unhaul it. There is a very big artistic community where I am, and I think this will help someone more than me. I've had it for a couple of years. I enjoyed it while I could, but I think for people in this area that are very artsy and they also do yoga, it's a bit hippie here. I'm not gonna lie. It's like, it's full of hippies. I think they would enjoy it more than I would and appreciate it more. Up next is actually the Witches of East End trilogy. Now the first one you can see, this was it Lifetime? I don't remember. Yeah, okay. And I watched the show first, really liked it, and so then I bought the trilogy, and you can see I just got whatever books were cheaper. This was the cheapest, and then I didn't get the other TV cover, whatever you call it. I enjoyed it while I read it, but then, spoiler alert for the books, it turns out they're not just witches, they're Norse gods and goddesses, and that's where I can't suspend disbelief. I think it's just too much. First they're witches, and then it's like, oh wait, actually, we're pretending to be witches, but we're Norse gods and goddesses. Surprise! And it's just too much. If they just stuck with witches and even powerful, all-knowing witches, I can believe that. Norse gods and goddesses, all of them, come on, I'm sorry. I can't. I don't know why, but I can't do it anymore. I think the Lifetime show did the right thing in just keeping them witches, and then it bumped up to some of them are very, very powerful witches, because that makes more sense than the roundabout way of first they're witches and then actually they're like cliffhanger, they're Viking deities. And on to the next book. That I don't think you needed, but that's why I'm unhauling this series, because it just, after a while thinking that through, I wouldn't have made that choice as a writer. Okay, next up is Earthly Delights. This is the ugliest cover I've ever known, and why they gave one of the ugliest damn covers to Carrie Greenwood, who writes Franny Fisher mystery book series, which is known across many countries. She's known across the world. Why would you give this ugly ass cover to her in her new series? I can't. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, but whenever I look at it, I cringe. I can't do it. So I'm not getting rid of the book because it's a bad book or it's like an average book. I'm hauling because the cover sucks, and I'm so disappointed in Carrie Greenwood's publisher that that's the cover you're gonna give Carrie. Unacceptable. I say bye-bye. Okay, next up is Hate Inc. by Matt Taibbi. I was enjoying it until I realized there are no footnotes, there are no endnotes, there's no index, there's no bibliography, there's nothing. So when you quote people, it's just a quote. This is a nonfiction book. You need those things. So that lost me, and I was actually very disappointed in Matt Taibbi and the editor and the agent and whatever, just everyone, where you didn't include any of that in a nonfiction book. You're quoting dozens upon dozens of people. You're stating things to be true, but where's your evidence? Where's the endnote? Where's the bibliography? Where's anything like that? So I did finish it. It was fine, but you know better. Sorry, but you do. You know better. I didn't like that. Okay, lastly, it is the Summoner trilogy, and this writer, Taran, used to be on Wattpad, well, maybe he still is, but he wrote these originally on Wattpad, like the first drafts, then found an agent and a publisher and editor and all of that stuff. And when I was on Wattpad, I was like, oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I don't really care anymore. And this is young adult fantasy. I don't read young adult for various reasons anymore. I don't care about young adult at all anymore. The only young adult books that I have are, I would say, are 5 out of 5 no matter what. Like the Gemma Doyle trilogy, fantastic. So I'm really trying to release the young adult books. I can't really find that many that aren't 5 out of 5 stars, so I think I'm doing well. I gave these 4 out of 5. I just don't want to haul them into the new house, basically. And I just don't really care too much to have them on my shelf that takes up space for 5 out of 5 star books. I'm really just keeping books that are 5 out of 5 stars at this point because I have very limited bookshelf space. So I need to keep books that I absolutely adore and love versus they're good. It's good. I'm just, one, not a young adult reader anymore, and therefore it's not going to be on my shelf because unlike the Gemma Doyle trilogy, I didn't really connect with any of these characters, probably because I read them as an adult. And with the Gemma Doyle trilogy, just for example, I really did because I read it as a teenager and I adore Libba Bray. So not even necessarily the author's fault. Not at all. It just, I've kind of lost interest in anything young adult at this point. So that is why I'm unhauling these 3 books as well. Thank you so much for watching my big book unhaul. Probably part 1. Probably part 2 is coming soon whenever I can find that big tub of books that I didn't want to put on my bookshelf. And it is probably going to include books from my fiance who also has a similar tub of books that he's not really interested in. It's going to be an interesting mix for part 2, I'm sure. But thank you so much for watching this video. Have a great reading day. Bye!